immediately. Because the state's
Yes?
Hey sir, how you doing?
Oh,
It's us.
you're here in response to the complaint?
Wow.
Hello.
Oh, okay, give me a second.
Yeah.
Okay, what can I do for you?
Well, I just wanted to have a chat about what's been going on with
Okay.
you and this house. I hear there's
We just
some
kind of want to get
problems.
your side of things, because obviously there's two sides to every story, right? Somewhere
Okay.
in between is the truth.
Are you here in response to my complaint?
No.
You're here in response
Did
to...
you call as well? Because we have
Yes.
multiple
Yeah, it's
calls.
here. Everyone's complaining about the same thing, so we're just trying to sort it out.
Okay,
So what's the issue?
simple and easy. We filed an application 2 years against our landlord.
Who's
and,
we?
My roommate and I.
Okay.
Right. We've been harassed ever since. The superintendent and his friends in the other unit have joined in on it.
Okay.
It's gotten to the point I've been assaulted. Mr. Stanford from Unit 1 was charged with that. I've been assaulted by our landlord last July.
Okay.
And now I can't come in or leave the building without having one of them pop out from wherever they are and start
Yeah.
screaming and calling me an asshole, which happened twice today. And it's getting to the point now where it is harassment. Now, these assholes seem to have the idea that we are not allowed to come and go, we're not allowed to look out our windows, we're not allowed to do anything, and they're allowed to do whatever they want.
Okay.
There's been banging, noise, the whole 9 yards the last few weeks,
Okay.
and it's escalated. You also have the word cunt and faggot scratched into my door, as you may notice,
Okay.
and our landlords refused to fix that. And
Yeah,
I'm
you
pretty-
want it painted, right?
yeah, and I'm quite certain that that was actually Mr. Pollington downstairs, because the day before this happened, he popped out of his apartment and started calling me a cunt. That's also on video.
Okay.
So most of this has been videoed, except for the surprise attacks, because those happen too fast for me to get a
You're
camera.
not ready, right? Okay.
Yeah, so from now on, I'll be wearing a body cam walking in and out of this building. It's got to that.
Wow. How long have you lived here? 2 years?
Since 2015.
2015.
And we have multiple applications in front of the LTB, and none of their orders are enforceable. These guys are completely ignoring LTB orders, and they're not enforceable. There's no one who will enforce them.
Okay. Have you?
By the way, there's also another feature here. My roommate is mentally ill and suffers from PTSD. Our landlord and the superintendent are aware of that,
Yeah.
and they're harassing her as well. This has been going on for 2 years as well, without any action on the part of you guys.
Okay. You rent here, right? You're not.
That's correct. We rent here.
And
Right.
where did
Let
you?
me finish, please. Okay?
Sure.
If it continues with no action against them, there'll be a complaint to the SAU, because what they're doing is targeting my roommate's mental illness.
Okay.
How do you? It's Paul, right?
That's correct.
How do you spell your last name?
Bosch, B-O-S-C-H.
Okay. Can I get your birthday?
2nd of April, 1965.
Okay. This is unit 2. Can I get a phone number for you?
289-698-6779. Now, I'm trying to do this the legal way, but I've had enough.
Sorry, 6779.
Correct.
So, I mean, if you want to go to SIU, go ahead. You're not going to be that successful that route. At the end of the day, police really don't have much authority in landlord-tenant acts. We're here to make
This
sure.
isn't landlord-tenant, okay?
Well,
This is a
let
criminal
me-
matter.
let me-
This
let
has
me
graduated to
finish.
criminal
Let me
harassment.
finish. The harassment, if we're going to go one way, it goes the other way. They say you're harassing them. You say they're harassing you.
I can show you
At the end of
videos.
at the end of the day, what the issue is nobody here likes each other,
Okay.
right? I don't think anybody's going to like each other anytime soon. So,
All they have to do is shut up and leave us alone. That's it.
well, I mean, they're saying the same thing about you, Paul. So,
Right.
at some point, people need to grow up, and they need to make the first step to correcting that to move on. The issue with the door. So, I did speak with. I guess you have kind of Augustino.
Yeah, he's the other landlord here.
So their issue right now is they don't want to have any communication with you. If you have any requests or anything like that, you can deal with it in writing. But
Which I've done, and they've ignored it.
no, I know, and I'm just saying.
And they continue to ignore it.
So his issue with ignoring it is that they believe you did it yourself, and they're not
Right.
comfortable fixing it
Of
or dealing
course.
with you. I'm not going to say right or wrong. I'm not saying you did it. Personally, I don't think you did it. So, but it's a moot point. I can't enforce them. I can't force somebody else to do their job. which is
I'm
to
not
paint the
asking
door.
you to force them to the door. I'm asking you to charge them with criminal harassment, which is the crime they have been committing.
Okay,
This
what
harassment,
is it? What is criminal harassment?
criminal harassment.
Tell me what it is. Since you seem to know who's going to get charged with it.
Okay. What they're doing is conducting themselves in a manner designed to coerce us into moving.
Okay, that's not criminal harassment.
And they're doing it by making us afraid to come in and out of our own home.
Yet you haven't responded by any other thing that shows me that you're not fearful. You've lived here for 2 years under these circumstances.
Now, the
Sure.
fact...
What happened now?
Oh, these yahoos are complaining about Richard flipping out again. But I already phoned in a complaint. I guess these guys are here for their complaint.
We're here for both.
Okay.
Both people, Paul.
It's one issue.
I come home from work to this.
Yeah.
Um,
What
So-
they are doing is trying to make us afraid to stay here.
Okay.
Yeah,
But you're
putting
clearly not
graffiti on our
afraid.
door.
Because I am not enough of a coward to run does not mean I'm not afraid, Constable.
Well, unfortunately, it's open till interpretation. Your behavior has to match what you claim. Someone who's fearful responds in a certain way. Someone who's not fearful responds in a different kind of way. So you can't say you're fearful and not react in a fearful way. The fact that you engage them on a daily basis.
I don't engage them.
Well, that's
I
what
walk
they're
away
claiming.
from these
That's
people.
what they're claiming.
Would you like to see the videos of our engagements with these individuals?
And where do these have you been in his apartment recently?
No, I
Downstairs? Okay, because he's saying you were in his apartment.
We
that you
avoided their
pushed him, that you
apartment
shoved
since you
him.
guys told us to stay
I'm
away.
just saying what he's
Would
saying.
you like to see, actually, I already gave the video to
and
the
somebody
last...
was charged when it was.
No, I'm talking about the one after that, Mr. Paul, the encounter with
Okay.
Mr. Pollington. The
How do
one
you-
where he was charged
How
was
do
Mr.
you,
Stanford.
who lives on this side?
Us and Mr. Pollington right below us, and we
Yeah.
avoid him at all costs.
So he's in 99. Is this
Correct.
still
This is 99.
Okay.
It's gotten to the point where I'm being honest, even when I leave for work, I have my cell phone in my hand ready to record for whenever I get verbally attacked.
Okay.
They've attacked me, and I've had nothing to do with this. I've had company come over, and they verbally attacked them.
Okay.
And what is it they're attacking them about?
Whatever they can. Big Mouth next door, her, the one whose son attacked him, sat there and started yipping off to my friend who has a key here because she has a key, and started yipping off to her. Oh, you've got a key, do you? Yeah, she has a key because of my health.
I've also been told that we're not allowed to use the common areas.
What's the issue there?
To ask her in 97-1.
Confrontational
Why
and
is she?
abusive to
I
our
get
guests.
it, but like, why is a guest coming in and being told by a random person they don't know?
Ask her.
That, no, I'm asking you.
That's what I'd like to
Let
know.
me
This
finish.
is my
Let me
company.
finish so you can hear my question, please. What is the issue with your friend getting into a
My half of the
short
building.
chat with some random stranger?
Why
and then
is
just
she
moving on with
questioning
their
her
life?
why she has a right to have a key or not? And who is she to have a key? It's none of her business.
She doesn't live here. She lives in 97, which is the other
This is
building
our
over
half
there.
of the
That's the thing
building.
is, you can walk around and ask people whatever you want.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
That's
Can you be
my company.
confrontational
She's
with us?
harassing.
You can film whoever you want. You can ask people whatever you
So-
want.
That's why I'm not getting. That's why I'm not chewing him out
I'm
for
sick of it.
videotaping them.
I
Their
go
complaint is
I
that
go
you
to walk
videotape.
over the grass
You can
there, and
videotape
she
all you
comes
want.
out and
I'm well
tells
aware
me
of
I'm
that,
not
Constable.
allowed.
Right?
That same tenant.
Now,
But my point in bringing that up, with what you're bringing up, is that you're doing something legal that is annoying to a lot of people, and you know it's annoying to a lot of people. Everyone does.
And it's ongoing.
it's
You know what?
necessary
I
because these
come home
people
from-
lie
And
as
again, that's your opinion.
I come home from my dad's to this,
Yeah, I get that.
and I'm not supposed to be upset.
We tried turning the cameras off, and what we got from that was a pack of lies from our landlord.
How do you, what's
it's
your
a joke.
interaction need to be with the landlord in terms of like, how do you
Mostly
pay
repair
rent?
requests at this point.
How do you-
As for
how do you
rent,
pay
we
rent?
haven't been able to pay that for the last 2 months because the last time we tried, our landlord became physically abusive. Got videos of that too.
Okay.
You know,
Have you
this
tried
is
using
coming
Ca-
from
have you
the
tried
same-
using Canada Post to mail the check?
This
No,
is coming
the hell
from
with
the
it. We have a
same.
hearing coming up in March, and
So
I'll
you
let
can
the
stop for a
adjudicator
second.
sort that
Two
out.
months
This is
rent
coming
free.
from the same people who are trying to evict us for him assaulting my roommate.
Yeah.
We have the paperwork that they are trying to evict us for him assaulting him.
Yeah, they've told us that it's before the board. I mean, there's
But
a
this is the
process
games
for
they're
that, right?
playing.
Yeah.
And I'm sick of it. I'm sick. I'm
Okay,
sick
but
of wondering
the
what
issue-
the hell is going to happen next. This is supposed to be my home.
The issue is their day-to-day conduct,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
We do not confront them, we back away from
Stay
confrontation,
the hell
and they
away
just
from them as
escalate
much as we can.
constantly. This has been going on for 2 years, and I don't give a damn what they say. I've got the videos that I can show you confrontations with these assholes.
Okay, where are these confrontations happening?
In and around the building,
hall,
in the
on
hall,
the
out
front
front,
lawn.
on the side,
Okay.
everywhere around the building.
When's this hearing?
March 7th.
March
But it's
7th.
not going to be heard on March 7th because I've got 2 or 3 days worth of evidence to present, and they've only scheduled 1 day of hearing. This asshole has been escalating this to the point where it's a whole lot bigger than a 1-day hearing.
Okay. And you don't plan to pay rent until this is resolved?
I would be delighted to pay rent to the tribunal in trust, but I will not deal with that lunatic at this point. I'll deal with Agostino, but not John. And John insists on showing up here in person. The problem is John Sereno.
Every damn
Okay, who's
time
the owner
he
of this
shows up.
house?
They are co-landlords of this building.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have no idea. I believe John is the only one on title of record, but they are co-landlords and have said so since. In fact, Agostino has appeared as the landlord in a formal tribunal action for this
Well,
unit.
yeah, no, we're aware.
Yeah.
He does work on behalf of John sometimes, sure.
He works
He
for
is
John.
John's partner and is a landlord
Whatever.
here.
Whatever the relationship is he represents the owner in some capacity.
Fair
right?
enough.
So
Whatever, I'm
the
getting
door
sick
is
of
the
this.
door is the main thing that you'd like painted.
The door, the
What I'd
front
like-
door kept locked, which as you see, there's a sign on it saying it's to be locked at all times.
Yeah, these guys leave the doors open.
And that's Richard and his buddies next door.
There's no other tenants up here, but they leave both doors unlocked all
Call
the
me
time.
call me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem like you guys have had a very enjoyable experience
And don't
living
tell
in
us
this
to
building.
move, because if you can
So
find an
why
apartment just as
why have
cheap.
you continued to like? It seems like
Because
everything
all
about
we
them is
have
wrong.
done is assert our rights as a tenant, constable, nothing more.
Okay.
Okay? We had work orders, compliance orders for most of the repairs we asked for. That's a slam dunk case.
Okay.
Any landlord with a brain would have fixed it. What our landlord chose to do was to try and harass us out of our home.
And call
That's
us
not going to
fools-
happen.
foolish and stupid on video.
Okay? So you can call it a stand on principle if you like, but I intend to see that this asshole is held accountable for every single thing he's done. I don't give a damn if it wastes 10 days of hearing time in the LTB, or another 10 days of court time for an assault charge on Mr. Stamper. I don't care anymore.
Mr. Stamper's downstairs. below.
He's 97-1. He's the one who
Oh, the
was
ladies'
charged with assault.
Okay, right.
And it's his mother that keeps flapping
Yeah,
her
his
gums
mother
and
and father
harassing
are part of it.
everybody. And who has started all of this shit.
So what would be ideal from now until the hearing? Like
You
what?
gag his mother.
Okay. Can I get your name, ma'am?
Marie Ball, and I'm sick of this. I
Marie
came home
Ball?
to that crap on my door. You think this makes me feel good? And for the record, that goddamn door being open, look up John Jake Elkerton. That son of a bitch could come after me at any time, and they're leaving that fucking door open?
B-A-L-F.
This door locked.
Ms. Ball was a
Doesn't
witness in a
matter.
murder.
I
an
was
attempted
witness
murder
to
case
him
a few years
attempting
ago.
to murder his ex, and he is now allowed back in Hamilton. And those sons of a bitches are leaving that door open and unlocking the one at the bottom of the stairs. You want
They're
to talk
doing-
about
yeah.
getting upset and feeling
There's- The
threatened?
thing is, listen, wait, when it comes to apartment
Yeah, I
buildings,
know. There's nothing
every
that can
apartment
be
building
done.
is the same deal. There's
Yeah,
a lobby door
don't
and you
let
got
the
your own door.
assholes do what they want.
Okay, but there are no other tenants up here, and there's no reason they should be unlocking the door at the bottom of the staircase. None at all.
Yeah.
The
It's
reason
a
could simply
game
be that the
being
owner says
played.
the doors have to be unlocked for safety reasons. I don't know.
This is a secure building. There are signs on the doors reminding you to leave them locked. That's not the
At all
case here.
times.
Yeah, so I mean, that's, again, you don't like where you
Miss
live.
Ball, what's your birthday?
September 15th, 72.
What I would
And
like
you
is
know
to
what?
be able to come
You
in and out of
guys
my
seem
home
to
without
think it's
being
so
harassed by
easy.
these
Just
people.
move. Find us another place we can afford.
No, listen, I don't think it's easy at all.
Yeah, that
But
seems to be
it seems
everybody's-
like you live in a situation that's worth moving for.
This
Find
situation
a
was
place
created
we
by our
can
landlord,
afford.
and we'd like to hold him accountable for it,
But you can
responsible
still
for
do
it.
that without
No, we
living
can't,
here.
officer. There is no practical method whatsoever of collecting from a landlord unless you are his tenant. None at all.
Okay.
I've checked.
But he has no practical way of collecting from you, right?
Yes, he does.
Even if
Oh,
you're
God,
his
yes,
tenant?
Yes, he does, even if we're a tenant.
But he's not. 'Cause
What?
You said you haven't.
Oh, he can take us to tribunal, and
Right.
that would be fine with me, because then that son of a bitch is gonna have to explain to an adjudicator why he's ignored the last 3 LTB orders. Hopefully, they will enforce their own orders,
What
since
are the
nobody else
orders?
does.
What were the orders?
The orders were to do some repairs to the unit, including fixing the door sweep here, which has a gap under it.
Okay.
He refused to do that. He did the other repairs. He was also ordered not to communicate with me, except in writing or by agent. He threw that one right out the window.
landlord?
Yes.
Okay.
John Serino.
Right.
He was also ordered to specify in his notices of entry whether or not he would be attending personally and
And
which
what
units
rooms
in
they
what
be
rooms he
going
wanted
into.
access. He hasn't been doing that either. All right.
Which room specifically?
Yes.
He just needs to state
No,
why he needs
In,
to.
See,
in
he
John's
starts to
case,
force
he takes a
himself
notice of
into
entry
rooms.
to be carte blanche to do whatever he likes, and we have videos of that.
Mm-hmm.
If he gives a notice of entry, he's fine with going into whatever, poking into whatever, rooting through whatever, moving whatever around. He doesn't care. So, we have an order from the
Ms. Ball,
landlord
what's your,
tenant board
phone
that he's
number?
not to do this.
905
And he ignored it.
818-0067.
These guys also party all day long, nice and loud, because they're under the impression that noise bylaw doesn't
Doesn't
apply during the day.
exist.
It does.
Yes,
No
I know.
kidding.
Okay.
No one seems
For
to
someone
be,
who knows so much about the law, you seem to be having a hell of a time.
because these people have absolutely no
I'm
regard
the
for it.
goddamn superintendent. I know what goddamn laws they're breaking.
They've been told
Try and get
by
them
2
enforced.
adjudicators at this
Okay.
point how to do things, and they're ignoring it completely.
Okay. Where were you guys before? Were you living together before?
No, I was a superintendent over at Emerald, right over there.
Okay.
Before Red Brick took it over, when Center Ramis had it.
Okay.
I was a
And then you moved.
superintendent at 118 St.
So you guys
Joseph's
have lived
Drive.
here the same amount of time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we had
And
another
where
roommate.
did you live before?
Violet.
Violet. And what led you to leave that building or house?
Same
or-
problem. My
Same.
last landlord was a slumlord
They're the
too,
ones
and
that are
the
in
one
the
before
papers
that. They're
right
the ones
now.
on the rent
Okay.
strike in those towers.
When you took this place, what kind of condition was it in?
Not very good. However, the landlord had made promises to fix the windows, replace the carpets, and all the rest of it, which he's acknowledged on video and didn't. He was given compliance orders for the city, which he completed a year and a month after the deadline. The city did fuck all because the city
12
doesn't
years
do a
ago,
damn
the same
thing to
things. The
landlords.
windows, everything, because we've looked into it, had compliance
Yeah,
orders on
he's had compliance orders to repair these windows in 2012.
How much is
And
rent
ignored
here?
it. 1140.
1140, and this is a
Okay, I can
two-bedroom?
tell you for
3
a fact
bedroom.
that you're getting, sorry, how many?
3 bedroom.
Yeah, you're getting ripped off. I don't know why you're holding on to it.
There isn't
Because we
a,
like it.
try and find a place, even a 2-bedroom, that's half decent now. Look,
This place
Seriously,
doesn't seem
look.
I had
half
a
decent
two-bedroom
though.
for 900
Seems like
and
it's
all.
been a
Yeah.
hell of a time for
how
you.
long ago?
The
Yeah.
entire time you've been here.
Well, you know what? If that's
How
what it
long
takes
ago?
for a tenant to actually
Look
be
for
able to
now.
enforce their rights in
for
Ontario, so
now.
be it.
Okay.
I'm having a ball with
serious.
this on my
I've
blog,
been
Constable.
looking.
On your blog?
You're
Yeah.
looking for $1,300 for a half-decent 2-bedroom.
Oh, that's overpriced.
No kidding, and that's because of the GO Transit
Yeah, if
coming
you think
in
this
and
is
everything
underpriced,
else.
you haven't priced rentals in downtown Hamilton anytime recently.
Anywhere.
So rent's
I've looked in
going up.
Hamilton, going
Rent has
up.
gone up for the last 10 years.
I'm on ODSP working part-time, and my worker knows it. Even my worker has said to me, too bad you can't find a place for under 900 for
Okay.
a 1-bedroom.
So the door needs paint.
Well,
Yeah,
that's a
you like
landlord-tenant
cunt on
board
your
matter,
door?
obviously.
No, yeah, they're saying that you wrote that yourself.
Yeah, no kidding.
I know, but
And there's been police called, there's a report, everything.
yes.
And when
You know what?
faggot got on here, they treated it as a hate crime.
Right.
And they're trying to accuse us of that. I'm sick of the
I know.
horse shit.
Have you guys thought of installing a camera?
Oh, we're going to.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the landlord can say no to that.
Oh, trust me,
I'm
there's a
gonna
way
put one
we
up
can
anyway.
stick it under here
Yeah.
so they can't even fucking see if they're
Well,
pinhole
check with
cameras.
the legal clinic
I don't
if he
care.
objects to it.
If
But
they
you
don't
know what?
know
I'll
they're
put the
there.
goddamn thing up there anyway. Oh, you know what? We got Augustino on recording saying that he was okay with it. We'll
Yeah.
just do it and then the hell with John.
If we can stick a pinhole right here, they can't even
No,
see it.
just do
People.
like put in an actual people, you know, like.
Oh,
where
we
you
don't
look
even know
through.
if we can legally do that.
I don't. s-
We're
a
the
fire
only
door.
ones who live up
It's a
here.
fire door.
Oh, this is a fire door.
It's supposed to be anyway.
Yeah,
It's
no
worked,
kidding.
but it's a fire door.
Fucking chewed all this shit, doesn't even fit right, but it's a fire door.
So I don't know, but you know what? Yeah, okay. If we can put a peephole in, we will. But it's not going to put a stop to it. Okay?
No, but
we got to walk in
a
and
bit more ammo.
Right. Well, I doubt they're going to be
It's a
stupid enough
constant,
to
we
do it
can't
again. But
afford
who knows?
cheaper. And everybody says, oh, we'll move. Find me a place cheaper.
Yeah, but you're not, like, you haven't even paying for the last 2 months. So, like, right now.
Just
Well,
last
so
month
what?
and
This
this
started in
month.
2016. We paid our rent in spite of being ripped off for it every damn month.
But you signed up for it.
Until it.
He can charge whatever he wants coming into it.
No
When we
problem.
had-
What we're getting ripped off for is the lack of repairs, the lack of hot water, the lack of response to any request for cleaning up this place.
Yeah, most people, when they're not happy with where they're living, they move.
Yeah,
And
but
have
like
you
I
got
said,
the
this is
money
my
for a
third
two-bedroom?
slumlord in a row, Constable. I've had enough with moving because
Look at
asshole
this.
landlords
You won't.
are not providing the services
own a
I'm paying them
house.
for.
What does that have to do with anything?
Answer, do you own a house?
I don't need to answer that. That has nothing to do with this
Have
scenario.
you ever had to rent in the last
I
year?
have had to rent, yes.
You've had to look for a place in the last year.
Not in the last year, no.
Then don't talk to me because you don't know what you're doing.
Well, I do know that rent involves someone renting and
You know
someone
what
providing
today's
a
rents
space
are.
to be rented.
You know what today's
Well,
rents are.
hold on a second. Here's where your error is.
It's a reciprocal relationship.
here's
You
where
get a
you're-
space, you pay the rent.
That is not the case,
That is
Constable.
the case. That's
No.
how it works.
No, it isn't.
Someone owns something.
You get
they
more than a
allow-
space. You get a package of services
Right.
that comes along with it.
Right.
Okay, that's what we're not getting. We got the space.
Okay.
We're not getting the services that come along with it. Hence,
Okay.
we're being ripped off every month.
Right.
Now, I'd still be delighted to pay it, except I can't deal with our lunatic landlord.
Okay. So
Pure and simple. Now, I've asked tribunal.
Are you going to continue to call him every day like you said you would? Because he's claiming that you're harassing him.
Oh,
Oh,
is
why
he?
don't
I am
you-
trying to communicate a repair request for somebody who's never given me an answer on it.
Well, you've communicated. He's aware that you want your door painted.
Okay.
Okay, so continuing to do it despite the message being received can be construed
Has
as
it been received?
unwanted and ongoing,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Okay, so that can be construed as harassment. So you seem to know what harassment is and its definition. So
Okay.
be careful. Now that you've made him aware that you want your door painted, I guess you just need to be patient.
Okay, I'll just
And
come home to
allow
that
for
every
a
day.
reasonable time to, well, I mean, you could paint it in the meantime and just charge him for it and make it part of your
No,
claim.
we can't. We can make it part of the claim, but
Yeah.
we can't just charge him for it.
Not directly, but you could say I'd like this included as part of my dispute with my landlord.
Okay.
I mean, if it's that bothersome to you, which
Yeah, it
I
is.
could see how it would be, right?
I
Because
like my
it's
company coming up to
it's a
see
bad word
faggot
written on your door. You gotta
cunt
see
on
it
my
every day,
door.
right? So I mean, you could get some paint and paint it and
But the door is not the issue that we're having here. The issue is the behavior of his superintendent and the other tenants in Unit 1 and
well,
97.
our message to the tenants is going to be to limit the interaction that they have with you almost to zero, unless it's something that relates to some kind of common space or building or something that's reasonable that needs to be communicated to you, okay? Which there's going to be few and far between of those. The communication with your landlord, you ever heard the expression, you get more bees with honey?
Not with him, you
We
know.
tried that.
I would say now that he's told us that he's aware about the door.
Okay.
He's brought up the door. He knows you want it painted. So he said that you said that you were going to call every day until it was done.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's going to help your situation at all. So it's
I believe what I said
counterproductive.
was I was going to call every day until I get an answer. However,
Okay. Well, again, semantics. He doesn't want you calling him every day.
Okay.
He's got other things to do, I assume. And you calling him constantly is going to be counterproductive to what he needs to do. So he's aware of the door, and his stance is whatever his boss, which he views as the owner of the house,
you're talking about John.
yes, whatever John asks him to do, whatever work order he puts in, that's the work he does.
So he's telling you he's not a co-landlord here.
He is saying that he is involved in the property.
Augustino.
He does work for John,
Yeah, he
is what
does.
he says for us. Is what he told us, is that he does work for
He's
him.
not even being straight with you on that. Okay, don't worry about it.
So anyway, I just think that he's aware of your issues. You need to either be patient, and if they don't get done, you know what to do. You seem like you've researched the Landlord-Tenant Act and everything, and you know what you're supposed to be doing. So you need to go down that, and you know, engaging with him on a daily basis over the same thing is not going to help you. And engaging with them, the other tenants, is not going to help you. My message to them is going to be the same.
With the other tenants, Constable.
Okay.
I
Were
do my
you
best to
slamming
avoid it.
any doors today?
No.
Purposely or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Did you close your door more than?
However,
unreasonable
there have
amount
been
of
some
times?
loud bangs in the building over the last couple of days at random intervals.
Yes.
As far as I can tell, they're coming from over on
From the other
97 on the
side.
lower
Okay.
unit.
Well, I'm
That's
glad
what
that
they're
it's
talking
not
about.
you. Yeah, they've mentioned that there's been some doors slammed today, and they seem to think it's on purpose. I think both sides are not giving the other side the benefit of the doubt and assuming the worst about them. So they think that you're up here slamming doors just to bother them,
Anything that goes wrong,
right? But
they're
you have
gonna
the same
blame us,
ideas
no
about them and the
matter-
things.
No,
they
I
do.
don't, Constable. I really don't give a damn what they do as long as it doesn't interfere with what I'm doing.
Okay.
Now, the loud parties and the constant verbal assaults are really getting annoying.
Okay. Do you have bylaws number?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got them, and they turn it down before the bylaw gets there. All right? They know how to play that game.
Okay.
I mean, that's the noise bylaws going
Yeah.
across the city.
Yeah.
We get the call, we show up, party's already over.
Yeah, party's over, or they see the car coming, or what have you.
Okay. So you have your hearing in March.
Yep.
So, I mean, just continue to document the way you've been documenting, because you're going to need everything in come March. In the meantime, give Augustine and John some time to get what they need.
The complaint was made on December 8th.
Okay.
Now, how long does it take to get a can of paint and paint a door?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay,
what
this
the
is not an
schedule
involved operation. Paint the
Well,
damn door.
Yeah, I mean, if it bothered you that much, you could have done it in probably 10
And they're
minutes.
threatening us if
Well,
we
okay,
do.
so I'll paint the damn door.
Again, you're not, for someone who's so offended by something, your behavior, your expected behavior to it is not fitting the feelings that you're having. I mean, if it's me and I have something, I clean it up and then I, go
Deal
about
with it.
dealing with it. I don't
Well,
leave it there and
Like I
stare at
said,
it for
I
2
pay
months.
somebody else for this, Constable.
Well,
I pay our
apparently-
landlord for
Apparently,
this.
you're not paying anyone else right now. The last
I
thing
have been paying our landlord
Well,
for this for the past 2 years and haven't gotten anything else done either.
You just told me you haven't paid in 2 months, so, and this happened on December 8th.
The rent's
so-
sitting right there, Constable. If
Well,
he can
I
come and collect
suggest
it
you
like
pay
a
your rent.
civilized human being,
I'm
and
sure it would improve the
I'll tell you the
situation.
same thing I'll tell him. If he can
Okay.
come here and be civilized for 5 minutes, he can have his rent. If I open the door and he starts screaming in my face, I'm gonna close the door again.
Okay, why don't you just mail it? That way you don't have to deal with them.
Mail it how?
Find an address.
To where?
An office that they have.
Do they have one?
I don't know.
Us either.
Well, you've been here for 2 years. It might have been a
Yeah,
question you
your
should
landlord
ask.
is supposed to tell you, and we have asked several times in writing,
Okay.
who are our landlords? No
Okay.
answer.
John's your landlord. He seems to own the house.
He seems to,
Who
yes.
did you deal with when you took this place?
John,
That's your landlord.
Okay.
Okay? That's your landlord.
you
That's who
sure it's not
signed-
owned by a corporation?
I don't know. You signed the contract with John,
No, we did not sign a contract.
so you have no contract.
No.
Convenient.
You have-
Okay.
You have a verbal one, though.
All right. Well, I mean, I've given you as much advice as I can give you. I wish you all the best at the tribunal in March. And our message to them is to keep their distance from you and leave you guys alone. Any ongoing issues, feel free to call either bylaw if it's something that they can help you with. If not, call police.
So what the hell started all this?
Richard come popping out and called me an asshole.